everybody, Randy here with therainbowjuice.com, and today we have a fun project for you. Today we're actually going to be cloning lemon trees. And there they are. There's Stuart. There's the lemon trees, and I actually have a grapefruit tree as well. So let me show you what I got going on. These were all planted from seed. I just took a seed, germinated a few, and here you go. So in the summer they began growing outside. And of course now in the Pennsylvania climate it's a little bit too cold, so we brought them in. And I have, they're called full spectrum LED grow lights. So in the LED light, it's kind of hard to see, it's like extremely bright. But there's red, white, and blue bulbs. So combined they put off this kind of purple color. As far as I know, it's the best simulation you could have to natural sunlight. It hits the entire spectrum. So that's that. And right here, of course, the lemon trees. So today what we're doing is cloning. Essentially what we're doing is taking a cutting and we're going to grow them so that they reroot and grow into new trees. So the benefits of cloning are pretty simple. You could take healthy trees that are already growing well and duplicate their genetics. It's just like cloning a human. You know, cloning the cells. So let's get started. Let's show you what you need. You will need, this is very important, you need one of these humidity domes. See, the top goes on just like that, and the clippings are going to go inside of there. The reason for this is we're taking a cutting of the plant, and there's going to be no roots for the plant to absorb water, so they need to stay humid like that so the leaves can at least absorb the water. What I've done is I've pre-soaked this material, and it's wet, almost like if you were to wet a sponge or a rag and then wring it out. So they're not soaking wet, but they're certainly damp. And these you can get at, I'd imagine, Home Depot, Lowe's, any garden center. I had gotten mine on the internet. But that's very important. You need the humidity dome. Probably not as important, but definitely beneficial is this right here. Is a heating mat, and this will go right underneath the humidity dome, and that'll keep the the station warm to encourage the root growth. And this will just plug into the wall. There's a nice little plug there, and this mat heats up. We're also going to need then is a pair of scissors or a sharp blade, and this is not mandatory, but definitely encourages root growth on the cuttings. This brand is called Clonex Rooting Gel, and you can get this also at any garden center. So let's start cutting. We'll start with this one. And the reason I'm going to take cuttings is they're getting a little bit too tall for their habitat, and they're rubbing up against the lights, and as you can see, this specific patch right here, the lights have started to burn the leaves, so we got to cut them down and we'll make some babies. So let's begin taking cuttings. What we're trying to do is take a cutting. If you could zoom in right here, you see there's these top two leaves here. We're going to snip maybe right about here and underneath the third leaf, right? We're going to trim off the bottom leaf, because what happens is the more leaves there are, the more of the energy needs to be sent to those leaves to keep them alive. But you definitely still need to keep some leaves that way to absorb the light. Once we got our cutting just like that, I like to cut down on here kind of like on a 45-degree angle. See, it's kind of just like on an angle there. And what that's going to do is allow more surface area for roots to grow out of. And sometimes I'll even split it again, so it's kind of slivered like that. And that's just, like I said, more surface area for roots to grow from. So, we'll take our cutting. We're going to dip it in the rooting hormone, which this hormone's a little bit old. It's kind of liquefied. It's supposed to be more like a gel. So we're going to cross our fingers here. Get it in there nice and covered in the solution. And then we're just going to take it and plop it right in the hole. And there you have it. There's one cutting. Okay, so let's take another. Okay, coating taken. We got 2 leaves, act as little solar panels to absorb the light for it. Now, as you could imagine, this is an extremely stressful process for the plants. You know, imagine cutting your arm off and trying to reroot it. I really wouldn't enjoy that. The chances of these things surviving are like maybe like 1 in 3. If you have better odds, you know, maybe 2 in 3. However, this is a guaranteed way to get a nice plant where you plant seeds, especially these citrus type seeds. Your odds of getting a tree to grow are not very good. So this is the last one we'll do, and then we'll move on. Once again, we're just cutting the stem at an angle, just to allow more surface area for roots to grow out of. I'll split it right down the middle here. Once again, more surface area for roots to grow. And boom. Right and all. Okay. There we have. So then all you're going to do is aftercare, right? We're going to throw this lid on here. Of course, you're going to need a light source, whether it be natural light. Is always the best, of course. You can't beat the sunlight. It's free. It's just perfect, right? If you do need to use something else, maybe use like a compact fluorescent light bulb, LED bulbs, whatever the heck you have. I would recommend, there's different color ranges of light bulbs. So something like this, if you could see, the color range of this is more a white blue color, and that's it's 5,000 Kelvin. If you were in the store looking for light bulbs, 5,000 Kelvin, and it puts off that midday sun color. It's kind of brighter, more radiant. Whereas morning sun, and more specifically sunset, is lower in the Kelvin scale. It's around 2,700 Kelvin. That's like the red tones, more relaxing feel. So if you're in a room with like a red light bulb, you know, the dimmer style light bulbs, you almost want to take a nap and you feel all cozy. But this light bulb is pretty beneficial for the clones. You know, 5,000 Kelvin or above, you know, 6,000, 7,000 Kelvin will be nice, and that, you know, stimulates faster vegetation growth for the clones. I haven't had much luck with the lower Kelvin bulbs around the 2,700 range, so I suggest that. And that's it. Put your lid on. You're going to want to mist these. You want to make sure the leaves are staying wet all the time, not soaked, because as you can see, I mean, maybe like almost like mildews kind of start to grow. That's a problem indoor, because if the leaves get wet outside, you can get the wind blowing on them all the time, the sun drying it up. So inside is a little bit different. You don't want the leaves to be soaking wet all the time, but definitely moist in here, and this humidity dome will help that. It does help them stay moist. That's all I can think of. Pretty simple, you know. You're going to cross your fingers, you're going to give them some love, and hope for the best. Within 2 weeks, roots will begin to form, and I'll probably make a follow-up video, and I'll show you that. So when roots do begin to form, these are actually just individual cubes, and you'll see the roots starting to grow out of this side, and you could take them then, and once it looks like, you know, very healthy root growth, they're solid, they're plentiful, take them and you can transport them then to a bigger pot, of course. That's all. If you do have any questions, things I forgot, things you might want to know, feel free to email us. It's email@therainbowjuice.com, or of course comment on this video. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, all of our social media sites. I think we have a Pinterest. We have, I don't know. I think that's it. So until next time, everybody, safe journeys and all my love to you. Thank you.